If your husband introduces his actual wife as his half-sister, congratulations, you're not in a marriage. You're in a Netflix limited series and he's the villain. Am I the a-hole for reporting my husband's sister to immigration after I discovered she was actually his first wife? If this story sounds like something out of a daytime soap opera, it's because I have lived in one for the past 2 years, without realizing it. I, 32 female, married Nathan, 38 male, in a courthouse ceremony on a rainy Thursday, with nothing but a borrowed dress and his hand gripping mine like a lifeline. We had met 2 years prior at a mutual friend's New Year's party. He was witty, calm, careful in his speech. He said he liked how I saw through people. I said I liked how he didn't flinch when I challenged him. He was also a man with a complicated past, or so he told me. He said his ex had been controlling, that his family was distant, that he was trying to rebuild. I, ever the romantic, thought I'd be his soft place to land. Things were mostly good. We lived in a modest townhouse outside Charlotte. I worked remote in risk compliance. He worked part-time in property management while rebuilding his credit. We budgeted, we cooked, we fostered a dog. Then came Claudia. He told me she was his half-sister, that her mother raised her in Venezuela, and she'd recently immigrated on a student visa. Claudia needed a place to stay while she got on her feet. I agreed. Family is family, right? She moved in. 26. Gorgeous. Long hair. Impeccable manners. She called me sister. Helped with dishes. Paid part of the rent in cash. And she avoided Nathan's touch like it was fire. I noticed how they never hugged, never sat near each other, how she flinched when he raised his voice, even slightly. I chalked it up to trauma. Maybe she was still adjusting, until the night I walked in on them whispering in the garage. Her, you promised you'd fix this before it got messy. Him, do you want everything to collapse? She can't know. I froze, quietly backed out. My hands were shaking. I didn't say anything that night. Instead, I started digging. First, Claudia's visa documents. I worked in compliance. I knew how to look. There was no student visa, but there was a marriage certificate, filed in Texas. 6 years ago. To Nathan. My head spun. I confronted him the next morning. I showed him the record. He sat down slowly and said, "It's not what you think." I said, "Then explain it." He said he married her to help her get into the country, that it was just paperwork, that they never consummated, that she needed help, that it was years ago. But why lie now? I asked. Because you'd misunderstand, he said. I asked why she lived with us, why the secrecy, why she never once referred to him as her ex. He had no answers, just apologies. Claudia wouldn't speak to me. I moved out that night, stayed with a friend. I couldn't sleep, couldn't think, until I remembered bigamy is a crime, so is immigration fraud. I filed a report, anonymous, detailed. I submitted every piece of evidence, the marriage license, the cohabitation, the lies. 2 weeks later, I got a call from a DHS investigator. 3 days after that, Claudia was picked up at her university. She wasn't deported yet, but the case is active. Nathan is under federal investigation. He texted me, "You have ruined lives." His mother called me a traitor. Claudia's cousin found me on Instagram, DM'd me, "You could have handled this quietly." But here's the thing, I tried. I confronted him. He lied again. He let me marry him while he was already married. He let me be the fool. So now I ask, am I the a-hole for reporting my husband's sister after discovering she was really his first wife? Was I the a-hole for dragging law enforcement into something that could have stayed private? Girl, GURL. You didn't drag law enforcement in, you just politely opened the door and said, "Hey, there's a criminal sitcom happening in my living room. Would you like a seat or a subpoena?" Your husband, and I use that term loosely because apparently marriage is a side hustle for him, committed bigamy, then gaslit you about it, then had the audacity to bring his still wife into your home under the title of half-sister, like we wouldn't immediately smell the incest energy and know something's off. Claudia avoided his touch like it was a live wire. The man lied to your face, your heart, and your wedding vows. You tried to confront him like a grown adult, and he doubled down. They wanted it handled quietly. That's code for, "Please keep enabling our felonies, thanks." No, ma'am. You pressed the nuclear button on your dignity's behalf, and I am standing here with pom-poms, screaming, yes, you did. You didn't ruin lives. You revealed the ones they were pretending to live, not the a-hole. As someone who works in immigration law, this isn't just messy, it's illegal. You didn't report them out of spite. You reported them because they involved you in a fraud, period. He introduced his wife as his half-sister and expected you to mop the floors like a Stepford dummy? Nope. Burn it all down, sis. I will bring the matches. The only thing she's guilty of is trusting a man who treats marriage like a loyalty card. If you have ever been tricked into a love triangle with immigration fraud, hit that like button and drop a comment below. And remember, trust but verify.